Welcome guys. In this video, we will be discussing on how to handle Docker images and Docker commands. So let's go into the system. So first we'll play with the Docker commands. So Docker, and if you will see the list of commands attached to it. So config, container, management, we have management commands and system commands. So management commands are config, container, image, network, node, plugin, secret, services, swamp, system, trust, and volume. And this is system admin commands for the Dockers. So let's go and play with the Docker images now. Docker pull CentOS. Before pulling, let's search for CentOS. We can see the CentOS image on the Docker Hub, which is a register hub, and in that we can see the downloads for CentOS is almost 4,126 times it has been downloaded officially. This is an official image. Let's pull the Docker image for CentOS. Docker pull CentOS. So we are pulling the it's tagged labeled as CentOS. It is tagged as latest. I'm sorry. So the total size of the Docker image is 72 MB. That's it. So once the Docker images is downloaded, we can find in Docker image. So we will see the latest CentOS image, the size of 195 MB. So we have an how to inspect or how to view the Docker images. So when we type inspect CentOS dot latest, we can see the Docker image, the complete information of the Docker image. What is this repo and repo digest, when it is being created, what is this environmental variable path, and under which license, what is the name of the image, who is the vendor, and what is the architecture type, virtualization size, and we also have the type of file systems where it is mount onto. So we have these complete images, and other command is useful command is that is docker history. Docker history. So what this command says that is normally Docker try to create an snapshot of each image. So when we tag any command on the Docker, it will create an image file. Whenever we create, it's basically create a tag and run the command on the top of the Docker images. Now let's pull and run a Docker image. So we will play with some Docker commands. So let's pull and play with it. So I'm right now into a Docker container. So as I said earlier, it's like an LVM snapshot. It will have it's a replica of an system file systems. So we can see here the Docker like like a Linux server. We will feel like a Linux server. So we don't have a system util command here. So apart from that, we will have all the other commands. So we can see the XFS file system mounted, how much a file system, and we can install the necessary packages, list all. So we can see the list of packages on the Docker container. So now what happened is when I press Control D, so the Docker status. Let's check the status of the Docker. So Docker ps-a will give you the status of the Docker image which I launched now. This is the container ID, the image name, the command that I executed, when it is being started, or when it's been created, and when it is exited, the ports and the name of the image or the name of the container. Okay, this can be random, which we can specify as well. So docker run at CentOS name pull app. Let's play with that. I'm sorry, it's a typo. Test. So okay, there is a one important thing about Docker. So when I press Control P, the process still run at the background, even though if I exit from the container. I can show you this one, a small demo. See, I press Control P into the Docker container, and I can see still the container is running. Normally, we guys have work on virtual machine softwares like VMware workstations, Oracle VirtualBox. What are the things we do normally? We launch instances, we launch as VMs, we stop them, we can power off, start, suspend, reset, and we take snapshot and we install tools and all those things. Same way, Docker is like an uh, sys- virtualization tool which will try to create, run, stop, kill, restart, and pass, similar to virtual machine commands. So how we do in a current traditional virtual machine softwares like VirtualBox and VMware workstations and etc. Even Hyper-V the same case. So Docker reduce the system administrative task, and it's try to make the or make us to operate the system commands well. So when we manage a Docker container, so we have options. What exactly it does basically. So we will have the states like run, stop. When we create, it will start running, then start, pass, then running, and we kill. So this is the state of an containers. So how Docker really works is that when the Docker images is launched is that when we run docker -i-t, we can check the docs.docker.com. There was list of commands how to specify it. I stands for interactive and interactive mode, and T for terminal based. And bin/bash shells the docker daemons to start in bash shell mode when the container is launched. So when a docker client, when we run the docker run command, it tells us to take from the image CentOS image. Okay. So what we did right now is that is like we pull the first image on a Docker. Okay. So we did Docker pull CentOS.latest. So it's pulled the Docker images from the hub.docker.com and stored it in our local repository. It's creating as a template on our system. Now we also used certain commands such like search CentOS, and also we have went into the images, see the previous is free, and list down all the images on the Docker system. Now, we have seen Docker-ps. Okay, Docker-ps will show you the running container. In order to list all the containers, we will be using ps-e. To list the most started one, recently started one, we can use Docker ps-l. Will tell you the most recent started Docker. And you can also let's start we can also use start stop a container with this command docker start test, just giving you the name. Now we can see the docker has been started up, and then now let's stop it. So it's still taking some time. Normally it'll be much faster. So it's top now. So, and let's remove the Docker with a name. So I can see the Docker has been removed successfully. Now we can also remove all the containers in the Docker by using Docker RM, then Docker ps -e -q. So that this will remove all the Docker things, and Docker RMI will remove all the images in the Docker. Basically, that the images that we downloaded will be removed completely. And we have a prune one, which is basically which will delete the images which we asked for, which will try to, for example, if I want to forcefully delete, I can use this option. So what happens, and when we launch a container, initially when we launched a container in interactive and terminal option, okay, so if I press Control P, okay, and or Control Q, the container still will be running in on the background. So if you have accidentally get into a container and press Control D or something, the container is get stops. To in order to avoid that, we can use Control P or Control Q. So guys, so you will be able to understand the commands whatever we executed right now. So let's go to the next session. On the next session, we will be covering how to commit and save the containers, how to label them and tag them. Thank you guys.